Trying to make me cry before I get up here was not a brochure. We got to give the men's choir another round of applause right there. If I could sing like that, I never would have tried to rap in my life. East Bay, what's good? So today we're talking about positivity rules. I must admit, this title kind of disappointed me. It speaks for itself, and I feel like I was robbed of the opportunity to show off a little bit. Even those who are unfamiliar with new thoughts are very familiar with the fact that positivity rules. Yes. This past Friday, I had a very interesting morning. Instead of getting up and meditating like I first do when I wake up, I decided to do a little something different. I checked my Facebook status first instead. Not good. A lot of the very things that I've been trying not to be angry about, I was now angry about. Ferguson, Palestine, Ray Rice. The more I thought about it, the more I started pacing around and my head began to hurt. The energy coming off me was so thick, even my son was like, nah, I don't feel like playing with you, bruh. So I decided to check myself. We know it here is getting centered. I got quiet and I meditated. I started affirming the things in my life that I did want to manifest. And when I was done, I felt better instantly, and I had an amazing morning that Friday. This made me reflect over the earlier days of my life before I knew how to check myself. I thought about how I would dwell on negative things, even in happy situations, and manifest something that just wasn't cool. I could be at a house party. We all having fun, we all grooving, and the main thing on my mind is, man, I really hope them Acorn boys don't show up today. For those of us who are from Oakland, we know when Acorn got to the party, it was time to leave. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that the reason that so many squares now wear gold grills in their mouth is so you can kind of blend in when Acorn shows up. Like, oh, man. That went on for most of my teens until I really harnessed a way to protect myself. But then there's that other side of negativity. This other side that I've learned to express where most of what came out of my mouth was very bitter and very cold. You ever speak to someone and be like, hey, how are you? And their reply is, fine. It's like, I need to take a shower now. Yuck. I got to sage off. I was in a great mood till you said that. It's not necessarily the word itself that has the power, but more the intention behind the word that has power. My mom told me a story about when she was over someone's house and this person was washing the dishes, and while she's washing the dishes, she picks up this cup and says, you know, I don't know why I keep this little ugly cup around. I never really liked it. And the cup literally jumped out her hand and hit the floor and broke into a million pieces. See, we all have that one friend. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Always angry. Always sad about something. You scared to ask how you doing because you know it's going to be a good paragraph and a half. We all got that friend. One of the reasons we got to stay prayed up and stay centered is so that when you encounter somebody like that, they don't knock you off your orbit and you stay in alignment with positivity. It's very easy to get caught up in that. And let me just say for the record, there's a lot of elders in here who I've heard time after time talking about how negative hip hop is. But there's an affirmation of today that everybody in here uses that hip hop is responsible for, and we don't get credit for it. So I'm just gonna say right now, if you've ever used the words, "it's all good," you owe us some props. We did that. Ernest Holmes says, "There is no occult trick in giving scientific treatments. It is just the reverse. Simplicity should mark our every effort and possibility, should accompany all statements that we make into the law of God." Ain't nothing spooky about this, y'all. It's quite simple. Without a positive feeling in your mind, body, and soul, all that treating you doing ain't even working. You might as well just get quiet for a while, because you saying a whole lot of nothing. Until you got that feeling seeping out of your heart when you pray, you are making no progress. In order to manifest a positive feeling, you have to already have that positive feeling in your heart. I'm going to tell a very important story that transformed my life. As you know, I grew up here, so a lot of y'all knew when I wasn't so nice, wasn't so focused, and I had a bit of a mouth on me. I was at church camp, and stop it. It was this one brother who was very known in Science of Mind for being a great singer, and he decided to come to church camp and perform for us, which me and my friends felt was a perfect opportunity for us to make fun of him and laugh through his whole performance. Just being rude, you know? And so finally, after a few songs, he says, "I'm gonna let my band take over for a while." That's when I blurted out, "Oh man, great." I was doing my best to hurt this brother's feelings. And his reply when I said, "Oh man, great," was, "Oh, you like my singing? I appreciate that, brother. Thank you." I was like, how did he do that? That's not what I meant. No, wait a minute. You're taking it the wrong way. Now, I never forgot that. See, for a while I was thinking, oh, he was just being smart back. I know what he was doing. No. He was so full of positivity, so immersed in the Holy Spirit that not anything I could say could offend him. As a matter of fact, he was so full of God's love that he assumed anything anyone says to him is a compliment. I was baffled. I was like, that was amazing. That changed me forever. Now, as you know, in my family, we couldn't really play the dozens. That wasn't allowed. You get in a lot of trouble doing that. Growing up where I grew up, you had to know how to play the dozens on the schoolyard. It was a hard life. You know how to tell some jokes. Remember how the 51 would run all the way to the Alameda base from downtown Berkeley? Me and my friends were trying to go to a party there, and we got there late, so on the way back on the bus ride, we start capping on each other. I'm real quiet because I don't know how to do it. So, this was around the time Cross Colors was out, and my dad, God bless him, he's real cheap. He was like, I'm not buying you that. He got me this thing other than Cross Colors. I think it was called Revolve. Yeah. Instead of red, black, and green, it was red, yellow, and green, and the denim just wasn't as cool. Anyway, he's capping on my jeans the whole time. I had this big old pocket on the side, and my homeboys just roasted me like, look at that big old pocket, and oh, you about to shoot me? You got a gun in that pocket? I know you got a rifle somewhere in that. Just the whole time, I'm just getting mad. And every sentence is big old pocket. Hey, bus driver, you see his big old pocket? Hey, you right there, you. Hey, I know you just gonna, hey, look at this big old pocket. Everybody just cracking up, and I'm getting mad. I'm getting so mad, and I'm realizing if I don't get him off of me for this whole ride, he's finna make fun of me. So I got quiet, and I mean the whole bus is laughing. This old lady's laughing at me. The bus driver keep looking in the rearview mirror and shaking his head. I am angry. So I got quiet like, Spirit, send me some jokes. Please, Spirit, send me some jokes. And man, I opened my mouth and I just said something and everybody was like, oh. And for a whole hour, I was just on this dude. When the bus ride was over, I was like, okay, I know how to tell me some jokes now. See, what I realized is that this shell that we call our bodies, this is all illusion. The illusion that we are separate from each other. I don't see this. When I look at y'all, I see energy. I see God. I see reflection of me. And what better way to prove that than to make fun of this thing that we're not even going to leave here with anyway? Positivity rules. The law is positive. It is the first rule of speaking your word. You must stay positive in thought and word in order to command the world around you. I remember being called the N-word at my job a few months ago. And by this time, I think I have mastered the art of knowing who I am. But even my reaction surprised me. So while this man is yelling all these obscene things at me, I smiled at him and I said, God bless you, brother. Which I have to admit really ticked him off. It was hilarious. So my boss takes me aside and says, that was amazing. I mean, he was in tears that in this day and age, and in the Bay Area of all places, someone could say something that hateful to someone else. He said, how were you able to do that? How were you able to not get mad? And I said, I know who I am. Yes. He was speaking from his hurt and his pain. The N-word, my favorite rappers call each other that. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't care how you meant it, because where I'm from, people greet each other with that. So in my mind, I don't care how hateful you were being, you just invited me over for dinner as far as I'm concerned. You can't tell me who I am. I am full of God's love and God's grace. So at any moment, no matter what you say, I already assume that it's a compliment. Yes. The very fact that you even acknowledge me means you know who God is. Yes. Can't tell me how to feel about me. Yes. Don't let anybody tell you how to feel about you. In foundations class, Reverend Greg Toole talked about a time where he was playing basketball at Club 1. And he just really wasn't that good. And he kept on missing shots and getting blocked. And I mean, it was just a horrible sight to see, he said. And he did it for pretty much the whole week until pretty much everyone knew, okay, he ain't that tight. He shows up ready to play basketball. And the first thing out this one guy's mouth is, what are you doing here? You can't play. And he said he started to get mad, but then he realized that guy was only saying what he already felt about himself when he got there. You see, if Michael Jordan had a bad game and I walked up to him and told him he was weak, did you really think he'd go home and cry? Faith and positivity coexist. You can't have one without the other. In fact, they exist because of each other. Faith and positivity are what fuel my life. As long as I can remember, I express those two principles in every situation I approach. Now, I'm a black man. So faith and positivity are the two things I must be sure to pack every time I get pulled over by the police. Now, I must admit, ever since that one incident where I learned how to harness positivity in my body, I've had a different interaction, different experience with the police. First thing I do is I see them as an extension of me. There is no separation. So why do I have to fear you when all you are is a reflection of me? I stop thinking of them as this separate entity that has power over me. And the other thing is I show no fear. I don't act arrogant, but I don't show any fear. You see, the thing that a bully needs for fuel is fear. And if you don't give a bully fuel, then there is no altercation. they get bored and they find someone else they can intimidate. Now, many of these police love it that there's someone showing them love because they probably don't get a whole lot of that at their job. Others can't stand it, which is also very entertaining to me. But at the end of the day, I have a positive experience, and hopefully they did too. I remember when my girlfriend at the time and I wanted to go to Skyline Boulevard to look at the view. There's always somebody who laughs when I say that. So as we're looking at this view, some red and blue lights start flashing behind us. We try to start the car, and he pulls us over, and he walks up to the window and says, "License and registration, please." So she starts looking for a license and registration. And she's looking, and she's looking, and finally I realize she doesn't have her license and registration, which finally she admits she doesn't have her license and registration. So he asks for my license, which I had, but then he finds a warrant I had from a long time ago. So pretty much in this situation, you can guess where I started to go. And I mean, I really started to go there. Do I get out the car and run? Do I call my mama for bail money now? How am I going to handle this situation? But then I remembered that I take dominion in my life. And that this is my universe and my reality, so I can control this situation. And so I started to treat right there out loud. And this wasn't no ordinary treatment, y'all. I mean, I'm slinging snot. I'm beating on the car dashboard, and I'm shaking everything. It's cats and dogs flying out the sky. The bay opens up like the Red Sea. I mean, I am praying. There's blackouts happening everywhere. And finally, when I'm done praying, and I say, "And so it is," I kid you not, a car comes crashing over an island parked in the middle of the street. What we realized is that a drunk driver had been speeding all through the place and crashed his car right on the island, but he was fine. Yes. I hear the crash, and I open up one eye, and I'm looking at the policeman. He turns around and he looks back at me and says, "You're good, aren't you?" Here go the best part. I was like, "You seen that, right? You seen that, right?" Oh, he was so angry. He points to my girl like, "You get in the passenger seat, and you driving, and you better handle that warrant." And I was like, "Have a good day, officer." In order for us to have a positive outcome, it is essential that we stay in a positive state of mind. This means meditating and affirming. This means watching our words and our thoughts. Watching the company we keep, because yes, vibes are very contagious, and you can absorb somebody's stuff that wasn't even yours. Now, I find it just a little bit funny that so many of us watch Love and Basketball or Love and Hip Hop or whatever that show is, and Basketball Wives, but in the same breath we say we want a loving relationship with no drama. You sure? I got a homeboy who can't stay out of jail. Each and every time he gets back, he's talking about how this is the last time he's going, but the first thing he does when he gets home is put on Lock Up Raw. You ain't had enough? Don't you understand that the things we put in our mind begin to be the things that we think about and cook until we manifest into our life? Instead of watching Love and Hip Hop, why don't you watch something about people loving each other and people bettering each other, and just watch something about a loving relationship, which probably means you got to turn the TV off now that I think about it. Now, as a practitioner, it is my duty to see the God in every situation, which isn't always easy, let me tell you. And I came to this realization Friday when I finally had to check myself. And then I thought about Ferguson. I was thinking, what is the God and the positivity in this situation? And it was very hard to find. how the police can continue gunning unarmed black men in the street and nothing happens. Then I thought about how here at East Bay, all of us are always talking about peace on earth and world peace and a world where we all love each other regardless of skin color, regardless of religion. And then I saw how many people were flying out to Ferguson from all over the world, joining hands in peace to heal this situation. Someone told me via Twitter that right here in Oakland, for a good 6 weeks, wasn't nobody shooting at each other. You see, I've been saying, come on, brothers, let's stop this killing. But finally, a situation happened that shook us enough to where we're like, you know what? We might need to chill. That's the positivity I see in the situation. I get to thank these brothers for giving their lives to shake me in a way that makes me want to treat for something different. Gradually, we'll come to realize that there is no positive and negative. There is only positive. See, that thing we call negative, that thing that kind of hurts a little bit, even that in itself is positive. We just learn that way down the line after we've survived it. Pain is a common ground in which we can all relate. I don't care what color you are. You stub your toe, it's going to hurt. And anyone else, regardless of skin color, who sees you stub your toe is going to be like, man, I feel his pain. You ever have a significant other that just was so terrible that, you know, like just so terrible that when it's finally over, that ex of theirs that you couldn't stand, now y'all got a bond, you know what I'm saying? Brothers, I know y'all feel me. You couldn't stand that other dude. Every time you seen him, you'd mean mug him. And as soon as that relationship's over, you break your neck to hug him now. Dude, hey, bruh, come here, bruh, come here. Listen, bruh, I love you. You understand me? I had no idea. I had no idea what you have been through. If you need anything, a place to stay, some money, a kidney, anything, I got you. Do you understand? Look at me, brother. I love you. Do you understand me? How's your dating life? You single? Here's my sister's number, okay? Now look, she just got married, but dude gonna have to understand, because I know what you've been through. I told that joke last service and somebody got mad at me like, I don't think your sister's husband would appreciate that. I'm like I'm really like, hey, you know, the joke has to be real. Chill. Comedy is all lies, we know that. We all have haters. We all get hated on. Even haters get hated on. The best way to deal with a hater is positivity. Don't give in to that hatred. Instead, pour some love on the situation and then watch what happens. Matter of fact, I'm just going to tell you, I don't even believe in haters. I don't even believe in the word, because haters aren't real. What a hater is a confused admirer. I mean, think about it, right? A hater knows everything about you. A hater studies you, knows your morning routine, is out talking about you to other people before you even get there. A hater is your biggest fan. The reason they're so-called hating is because they don't believe the love that you have to offer them is something they're worthy of. So instead, hug your haters. Hug them till they put a restraining order on you. I guarantee you they will transform. I've done it. There is no such thing as a hater. Not at all. Now, we come here every week and say God is all there is. But if we really believe it, inside here, we got to really believe it when we leave these walls. See, it's all happy in here, and we have a support, and everybody thinks the same, but when you run into that person who might say something racist towards you or whatever, can you say God is all there is in that situation? It's not always easy. Of course. But when it's rainbows and butterflies, we can always say God is all there is. But when that storm rolls in and it's muddy and there's traffic everywhere and it's thunder and lightning, can you holler to the top of your lungs, God is all there is? When you absolutely know in your heart that God is all there is, you can't fight the positivity that oozes out of you. It's infectious. People can't wait to see you. They're inviting you to everything. They're like, who's that positive person? Being pissed is giving away your power. When you are consumed with the love and abundance of God, you don't ever get angry about nothing. You know, I started realizing that there's a lot of habits of mine that keep me from feeling this positive feeling that I need to give up. So, as much as of a Raider fan I am, I'm going to just stop watching, I think. I think it's time to do that. I'll wear my colors, I'll root, but I get a little too angry when I watch, and I'm just really depressed. Too many walls in my house with fist marks in it. Tired of buying new TVs. We'll just stop watching. East Bay, I love y'all and thank you so much.